Hey guys, this video is more of an update rather than a full-on review. I already made a video about the Yueying 5 and Yueying 5 Pro when they first came out. I said I'd do a full review after 100 kilometers on each. I jumped ahead with the Yueying 5 because honestly, that one after breaking in didn't change quite as much, and up until now, it's still consistent as it is. The 5 Pro didn't feel it needed much break-in at first, but later on, it did feel like it was a bit better or slightly softer, like the bottom foam here. It was around after 60 kilometers, I guess, where I kind of noticed the change. Became a bit more forgiving when heel striking. It still has that instant correction, but it is slightly better when you land awkwardly in the heel here. From 60 to 80 kilometers was the most noticeable difference, and at 108 kilometers now, it's pretty much the same. It might get softer or stay as it is. The top foam also has gotten softer, but it hasn't really quite changed the ride that much. I can feel it bend much more easily now when running. It's still snappy, not quite the same pop when it was new, and it's actually a good thing. At least to me, the flexibility has made it a bit smoother or a bit more seamless with the turnover. Now, I get why some would say that the forefoot feels a bit lacking. It does feel a bit low, but it's actually not thin. It's got a healthy amount of stack. It's just that your foot sits a bit deeper below the sidewalls, like you're deep inside the midsole. You're kind of inside instead of feeling like you're on top. The flat underfoot feel and the very wide base, I guess, kind of gives that low to the ground kind of feel. It's not super high stack like most of today's trainers. Part of that flat feel comes from the outsole tool. It's slightly embedded inside the foam, leaving just a thin exposed layer. While I don't really get that protective extra layer sensation underfoot, it's still a positive for me since the bottom foam isn't that mushy. It makes it feel light and nimble, and it doesn't feel that bottom heavy at all. I compared this to the 4 Pro before in that first video, and I'll just keep it short here. The 5 Pro feels lighter and faster, while the 4 Pro feels softer and more cushioned. The 5 Pro gives you that quick, snappy rebound, and the 4 Pro leans to that more smooth but still springy kind of a feel. Now, both shoes are cushioned and responsive, but the comfort goes to the 4 Pro a bit more, while the responsiveness and much more livelier ride goes to the 5 Pro. Now, for easy runs around 6 minutes 30 seconds per kilometer, and even recovery paces around 7 minutes per kilometer, for me, it's actually better now than when it was new. The foam underfoot, or the bottom foam here, has mellowed a bit slightly and has actually gotten smoother because of that flexibility. Stability wise, the shank or the nylon plate inside plus the tall sidewalls around the heel and forefoot kind of help keep your stride aligned. The wide enough base adds to that stable feel. The instant correction, or when you land awkwardly, is still there, and I'll talk more about it in a bit. The upper, while still soft, isn't really very stretchy, and it does help in keeping your foot straight with the correction here. It works together with the stability, kind of like tugging or pulling your foot along. It might cause some soreness in the medial or the lateral part of the sidewalls. I'm not sensitive to it, but I do notice it. Now, about the heel, it did seem clunky at first, especially when it was new out of the box. Even when walking, it was a bit awkward. It's because of this firmer bottom foam. You do have that instant correction like I mentioned earlier. The thing is that the heel flare here isn't actually quite big. It's actually even thinner than the regular Yueying 5, which has more foam. However, the outsole's edge, or the landing point here, it's actually slightly wider on the 5 Pro, but only by 2-3 millimeters. So you actually roll smoothly in the Yueying 5 here, as it's a bit curved or rockered a bit on the sides. Plus, it's much softer here at the bottom compared to the Anta PG7 Ultra or the Chaodan TG 1.0. Those two shoes are 2 to 3 millimeters wider than this one, and they're also a bit more softer on the landing compared to this one. And even if this has mellowed a bit, it's still firmer compared to those two. The 361 Fierce Max looks clunkier, has a more flared out heel, but it is a bit smoother. The firmer bottom foam here is softer than the bottom foam of the Yueying 5. If you also look at where the ground contact point is, outsole actually is a bit narrower here, the Fierce Max, whereas with the Yueying Yueying 5, it's right out here in the edge and it's a bit wider. Again, you really can feel that correction when you land here, and it immediately corrects you to the other side, whereas this one is still a bit more smooth, just like the Yueying 5. Outside of the heel now, I want to talk about the fit experience. A concern some users have mentioned was that it felt a bit too high here in the arch. It presses under their midfoot. It didn't go away for me, but it has softened a bit over time, but I still feel it there. It's just that I'm not sensitive to it, but if you are sensitive with high arches, you just have to keep that in mind, as it is a bit narrower here in the midfoot. As mentioned earlier, the upper isn't really quite that stretchy. It's really not that premium kind of a soft. It just serves its purpose working in tandem with the sidewalls to, I guess, keep your foot in place. The tongue and heel collar though do have that slight plush feel, and I really kind of like the materials that they used here. Last thing about the fit is that this one runs a bit small, not quite a half size small, but it is getting there. A bit tighter in the midfoot, as I said, and if you have a wider pinky toe area, the side here might be a bit too aggressive, so I guess it's safe to order a half size up if you have wider feet. If you have narrow feet, it's not really that short. It's shorter than true to size, but maybe you can get away with just sticking to your size. I want to compare this with a shoe that I tried recently, and the shoe is the Chowdan TG 1.0. It seems like this has the slight edge as it's softer, and it has that PIBA infused EVA foam, but reality is that it just flattens out early and doesn't really have that energy return when you pick up the pace. The 5 Pro is the opposite. It feels okay at slow runs, has that energy return, and seems like it's a fun kind of ride even when you're going at easy paces. Has a slightly tinier kind of bounce there, but when you pick up the pace, it just comes alive. It's much more springier and with that flexibility, snappier, it's tight. All in all, just really has that great energy return. It's almost like a non-plated super trainer. It's not quite there as a super trainer. It could use a bit more smoothness on the side, could forward roll or a more assisted toe spring. Another shoe that I've enjoyed using that I want to compare with the 5 Pro is the Peak Up 30 4.0. I used this late in my marathon block. I only switched to this shoe later when my fatigue caught up. I needed more than what my other daily trainers couldn't offer. The 5 Pro could have easily filled that spot instead of this shoe because the 5 Pro still had plenty good cushioning to it, but I just went with the Up 30 4.0 because I'd forgotten about it and I needed to log in more than 150 kilometers for the full review. I just enjoyed this much the more I kept using this one through that marathon block, and the only differences with the 5 Pro and this one is you can feel the grounded and more stable feel with the 5 Pro versus this one. This one has that slight mushiness to it versus the 5 Pro, which is a bit more springy and a bit more fun. Now when I say mushy, it's just when compared to the 5 Pro. This really isn't a mushy shoe at all. It's less flexible compared to the 5 Pro because this one has a nylon plate in here. It's actually pretty stiff, but not as stiff as carbon plates. The Yueying 5 Pro leans towards more of a daily trainer kind of vibe because of the upper, while this one is a bit more performance oriented. It's pretty light and pretty nimble as well. Pace-wise, the Yueying 5 Pro is just much more fun across paces from easy to fast workouts. It's much more livelier and much more springier than the Up 30 4.0. Now on long runs, this might not look as comfortable because of the performance upper and just doesn't have that wide enough base or doesn't look as stable compared to the Yueying 5 Pro. But honestly, when using this, I didn't really feel any instability. But I also don't need stability shoes. If you're planning to add a bit more tempo or slightly faster, like half marathon paces within your long runs, I think the better shoe would be the Yueying 5 Pro. The 5 Pro again feels like you're inside and more grounded within the shoe, whereas this one you feel like you're on top. It does really have that cushioning kind of feel. Lastly, doing 5K to 10K paces on both. I kind of feel like this one is a bit more muted, but the Yueying 5 Pro, while snappier feeling and feels actually lighter when you're doing your turnover, actually is a bit more clunky because I guess it's just wider versus this one. This one has a more smoother rolling kind of feel and is a bit more mellow when you're at those very fast paces. And other than that, I could probably do a video comparing both. Just not sure when I'll do it yet. I might have more comparisons, but they'll probably in other videos that I'll make with the 5 Pro or on other shoes that are coming. So stay tuned, keep running, stay fit, and always be kind.